Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant, and I'm very pleased this morning to be joined by Robert Dutton from Recruitment Solutions South East Limited. Morning, Robert.
Hi, good to see you, Nick.
How are you? All right?
Yeah, really well, thank you.
Good. So a little bit about Recruitment Solutions. Their appreciation and understanding of employers and employees alike lie at the heart of everything they do. From their experience of people and life and the world of work, they pull their expertise to fully understand the requirements. Recruitment is a way of life for them, it's fair to say. And through their ability to not just listen, but truly hear, they take the time to get it right. So I want to start the interview, Robert, by you telling us about your story. Recruitment Solutions has been in Tunbridge Wells for a while, and a lot of people would like to know more about how it all came about.
Yeah,
so let's hear it.
I think it's really interesting that you started with that statement, because that statements are our founding values. And in June the 1st, we celebrate our 25th anniversary of having come to Tunbridge Wells.
Nice.
And it's really important because we reflect on those values or that statement all of the time. In a world that has become increasingly transactional, what we are working to do is to keep the personality, to keep our consultation flowing across the whole of the business. My own background has always been recruitment.
Yeah.
Time served and people passionate. And there's nothing better than seeing a company recruit the person that they want, that's going to help their business thrive and grow, or improve their customer service. And equally, seeing a candidate's life changed by the interaction that we have to introduce them to the role that they wouldn't otherwise thought they could have secured.
Yeah.
So, as a recruiter, time served, living away from this area, 25 years ago, I came away, looked at it and thought, what is it that I believe that we could offer or I could offer?
Yeah.
And we set out to create a business that was caring, customer-centred, compassionate, where we really do take the time to understand. And with a very clear and simple objective, which is to deliver the service that we would want to receive, were we to be a candidate or were we to be a client looking for staff. And the 25 years have gone in a blink of an eye.
I bet they have, yeah.
And if we could turn the clock back and have it all again, we would, because it is exciting, it's vibrant, we work in a world of change, companies are changing, clients are changing all the time, and of course in the last few years the way that businesses operate have changed incredibly. So we're constantly looking at and working at the way that organisations work, what it is that they need in order for them to be able to grow forward.
Following the trends, I guess you have to, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And you're located up on St John's Road. Have you always been there, or have you moved about a bit?
So our initial starting point was Monson Road in a small business centre above Simmons the clothes shop.
Oh, I know. Yes.
And we used to call it Recruitment Heaven because we just loved it. A small, quirky building in the centre of town that gave us access to everything and easy access to candidates.
Right.
We moved to St John's Road probably 15 years ago, and we now have 2 additional offices, one in Sevenoaks and one in Kings Hill.
Yes.
Between the 3 offices, we cover the whole of Kent.
Right, okay. So when did they come about, the Sevenoaks and the Kings Hill ones? Was that added on sort of 5 years ago?
So it's an interesting year of celebration, really, or of anniversaries this year, because we've celebrated, or are celebrating Tunbridge Wells' 25th anniversary. We also celebrated Sevenoaks' 10th anniversary.
Right.
Kings Hill are our baby, and they're 4 years old.
Right, okay. Tell us about your team, because obviously you must have people placed in those different locations. Let's go through you, because there's quite a few of you now. Yeah,
so we have a team of 18 people working across the 3 locations. And as a local organisation, helping local people join local companies, what's always been important to us is that the people who join us live locally, and that they understand the dynamics of the business area that they work within.
Okay.
So we have a team of 9 in Tunbridge Wells, a team of 3 passionate ladies in Sevenoaks, and a team of 4 in Kings Hill.
Right, okay. Now, people has always been what you're all about. It's all about the people, isn't it? And you've supported brilliant businesses since it starts, so thank you very much, Robert. I think you were the first person, one of the first people I spoke to about it, and you said, I love it, Nick, let's get involved.
Brilliant concept.
So thank you. There are other recruitment agents out there, that's fair to say. Bit of a tough question, but what sets you apart from the others?
Okay, so I think it is it's a number of factors, and there's not any one factor that drives it all, but understanding candidate is absolutely vital. So taking the time to interview properly, to really understand the skills, the experience, the abilities of a candidate, be able to represent them from a candidate's perspective, to be able to help them look at roles that they may not have otherwise realised could suit their skills or would be part of their career progression. From a client's perspective or a company's perspective, our objective is to understand their role. By understanding their role, the touch, shape, the feel, the texture of the role, as well as its responsibilities and duties, we can then shortlist the candidates that are the pick of the crop within the area.
Yeah.
You know, from a team of 3 offices, we have county coverage. We have a large pool of candidates that we're looking to work on all of the time, and that gives our clients access to candidates that otherwise wouldn't be available for them.
Okay.
From a company's perspective, the most important thing every single time is getting the right member of staff.
Yeah.
Be it a company with 3 people who are looking to expand or to take on their 4th member of staff, or a large company where they've got somebody who's left quite quickly or is on notice. Every role is absolutely vital and important.
Yeah.
So part of our offering is not only the permanent service, but we also provide temporary staff and fixed-term contract staff.
Right, okay.
A temporary worker is part of a flexible workforce that allows companies to flex up or flex down to meet their peaks and troughs. But equally, it's being used more and more from a strategic perspective. So when somebody resigns, quite often we will supply a temp into that role in order to cover that whilst the company are recruiting permanently. And in many instances, that temp will have done a good job within that role and be offered the permanent role themselves.
Yeah. What I like about recruitment, I think sometimes, is a lot of people don't know what they want to do. You know, maybe they're in a career change, or there's nothing out there that sort of suits them or floats their boat, if you like. They come to you guys and they tell you their skills and tell them about themselves to you. And you can go, well, this might work, we've got this opportunity. And it really opens up. And I'm not sure a lot of people know that. And I think people should use you more for that, for almost like careers advice, if you like.
I think that's a large part of the benefit to a candidate, absolutely, is the fact that by taking the time to interview them properly, we can understand what they've done, what they've enjoyed doing, identify strengths and weaknesses for them and with them, and help them consider opportunities they might not otherwise have known about.
Yeah.
I think that in a recruitment world, there is a tendency towards transaction. You know, we all recognise the importance of advertising and the use of platforms such as Indeed, but equally, what's more important to a company is to use its time efficiently and properly, and to access the candidates that are right for that organisation. So, from our perspective, it's about the people element that comes into it. A candidate coming for interview will be with us for around 45 minutes on their first interview.
Okay.
We won't be seeing that candidate just once. You know, we will interview them. The interview is informal. The objective is for them to be at ease. It's to share their experience, for us to understand everything about the way that they've operated and worked, and then to talk to them and be able to talk to them about their aspirations and how those aspirations might be met. We have found the use of technology really useful. The fact that we can now utilise Teams-based calling gives us an opportunity to respond really quickly. It also has given us global reach. So for clients that we have who like the service, we've had many clients who've gone on an acquisition trail, particularly post-COVID, and they've utilised our service to recruit them in Manchester, Birmingham, Portsmouth, Pontefract. And because they like the core value of the way that we operate, the way that every candidate will be interviewed face to face, every candidate, we will understand how their skills will match the role. It's an important. You know, we live a long time with a poor recruit. It's absolutely vital to recruit the right people to a company.
Completely, absolutely. Do you have any specific areas of expertise in industries, or is it any industry?
Yeah, so every role is given the same care and attention. We work with a very broad base of clients, from trading organisations to financial services companies, from companies with 3 staff who are looking to replace or to build their teams, to companies with 50, 60 and 70 staff. So the industry sectors that we would operate across are broadly accounts, finance, legal, commercial, sales companies, trading companies, manufacturing companies. We supply people into marketing. So the opportunity for a candidate, from a candidate's perspective, is vast.
Yeah, That's the important part, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've been in, so you're a big lover of Tunbridge Wells. You always speak fondly to me about Tunbridge Wells and the area that we live in and supporting the local businesses. That's really important to you, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hugely passionate about Tunbridge Wells. Exciting, vibrant.
Yeah.
It gives an opportunity for people to live and work in the same location, which is pretty unique.
Yeah.
And the lifestyle elements of the town, combined with the opportunities that there are from a work perspective, are unparalleled.
Yeah.
Our three offices, I guess, are fairly have distinct personalities. So Kings Hill is centred on a business park. We work with small and medium-sized organisations, but it's very corporately driven.
Yeah.
Our Sevenoaks office are hugely consultative and work with companies through to Bromley, Orpington, and they would supply across to Reigate.
Yeah.
From Tunbridge Wells, we're supplying people down to Brighton, across to East Grinstead, and into the outreaches of Kent.
Yeah.
So the three offices have a distinct personality, but passionate about Tunbridge Wells has always been our biggest thing.
Yeah, I can see why it's called South East, because each of those locations can, obviously Sevenoaks can go up north, towards Dartford and up that way. Like you said, Tunbridge Wells, a lot of Sussex involved, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then going across. It's a good spread. What do you like about it the most, Robert? What's the best bit of it for you?
The most rewarding part is when someone says thank you.
Yeah.
So it's a candidate who secures a job that they want, and a client securing the member of staff that they want.
Yeah.
Our biggest driving factor within our team has always been about satisfaction.
Right.
And we constantly work to deliver a high level of satisfaction to the people that we work with. And that's our biggest measurement. So when we get feedback means everything to us.
Yes. You've got a lot of Google reviews, haven't you?
We have. So a Google review, or just a candidate calling in to say, do you know what, I love my job. We had a lovely one the other day where a candidate had been placed 5 years ago.
Wow.
And they said, you have no idea of how you changed my life.
That's amazing.
And the fact that 5 years ago you set me on a career path that I would not ever have considered or seemed possible.
Yeah.
And it was just fantastic that they would remember us and the part that we played within that.
Yeah. Like, it must be life-changing, like I said. And it goes back to what I said earlier about people coming in and not really sure what they want, and you put them on their path and the way they go, and they're there 5 years later. Yeah. That speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Hugely relationship-driven.
Yeah, right.
Because we're not just working with people who are starting out in their careers. We're working with candidates who have worked in London and they want to backshift their career for whatever reason. It might be they want less responsibility or they want more responsibility locally. So the texture and the variety of people that we work with makes our job really interesting.
Yeah. What's the future for recruitment, would you say? Is there such a thing as the future for recruitment? I mean, obviously there is a future, but is it changing? Is it?
I think there is huge opportunity within recruitment. And I think that there's opportunity in everything that everybody does.
Of course.
It's how you look at a situation and what you bring to that situation.
Yeah.
But in a role that is so vital, a member of staff that you are committing to join your company, it's absolutely vital that you get the right person.
Yeah.
And that can't just be deemed from a CV or from an automated selection process. Companies need recruitment consultants to be able to share their values, tell their story, to get them to consider roles that they may not have considered before. I remember back a little while ago, we spoke to a company who had really high staff turnover.
Yeah.
And by working with them to adjust their recruitment process, to adjust the way that they onboarded candidates, and to prepare those candidates for what those early days might look like, the retention rate improved considerably.
Right.
We've also had candidates say to us, I don't want to join a particular company because we feel as though they advertise too much and therefore they must have a high staff turnover.
Right.
And it's really important that we're able to tell that company's story, to be able to project not only what they do, but how they were originated, what their values are, where they're going to, in order that the candidate gets excited about an opportunity that could, on the basis of a piece of paper or an advert, appear faceless.
Yeah, because recruitment is a specialised approach, and businesses that maybe have grown in certain areas and really good at what they do, they weren't taught how to recruit, they weren't taught how to keep staff in, because it's a very competitive place at the moment. You know, the phone can ring at any point and people get poached.
Yeah.
And they've got to love what they do and stay where they are.
Hugely competitive. And I think that candidate mobility in the last 2 years has been at an all-time high. For all of those reasons, that because of onlining, candidates have left their CVs active on websites. So companies have to work as hard on retention as they do on attraction.
Yes. Yeah.
But the part that we play in that is that we're there not only once the person starts, but after that period of time. So we will often be asked by a client to give a candidate a call and ask them how they're getting on within the role, how they're feeling they're settling, because the client will understand that the candidate may sometimes feel more able to share any concerns that they might have, and that they can adjust whatever it might be operating for them in order to retain them within the business. So our service isn't only up until the point of start, it's now much further than that, which is why I think it all comes back to consultation, and it's the understanding across the whole recruitment process from beginning to end that allows the success to happen.
Yeah. No, I can see that. You're really passionate about it. I love it.
Yeah,
You always have been. Yeah, it's really good. So, do you think are you going to open any other offices and go in any other areas?
I'm super passionate, and I think that one of the things that the technology has enabled us to do is to have an outreach beyond our local marketplaces and beyond our local areas. Our complete passion is the towns that we operate within. So local staff, local people, local companies are making a difference in those local areas. Yeah. But equally supporting our local clients as they expand on a national basis. From our Tunbridge Wells office recently, we've been recruiting for a number of clients within London.
Okay.
And this is because the clients have said to us, we have offices, we're feeling that they're underserved by the processes we've utilised recently. Can you support and help that?
Yeah.
So we will certainly expand. Where that might be, I'm not quite sure where it'll take us to next.
But with technology now, it sounds like you probably don't need to, because going back to what we were saying earlier about your locations, they serve the whole of the south. Unless you're going to go, to the West Country or anything like that, then you probably don't need to, do you?
I think that opportunity to grow and develop is a good thing.
Yeah.
It gives us opportunities for our own team to grow and develop as well.
Yeah.
So it's certainly something that we encourage.
Yeah. Here's to the next 25 years.
Yeah, here's the next 25 years.
Robert, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on and chatting with us. I know it's not your thing, so I'm really pleased you came on, because I've been trying to get you here for a long time. And once again, thank you for all the support you give brilliant businesses.
Yeah, I think that what we'd like to say is thank you to you guys. We were an early adopter or a founding member of brilliant businesses. Yeah. And again, the work that you do in the local community is absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Not gifted from a podcast perspective. You've done well to get me here today, and I'm delighted to have been able to be here.
Mate. I really appreciate that. Okay, so if anyone wants to speak to Robert or his team about recruitment of any type, or obviously for employers as well, please get in touch via the website, via email.
So my email address is robert.dutton@rexol.co.uk.
Okay.
Just make contact with me, and I will come back to you as quickly as I can.
Amazing. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you very much again, and we'll see you all for another podcast soon.
Yeah,
Thanks,
great.
Robert.
Thanks, Nick. Cheers. Bye.